Howdy mates, good afternoon, how are we all doing? It is Saturday, January 28th, 2023. Just over visiting the Gulf of Mexico right now. I figured this would be a nice little spot to provide some footage. So, rest assured you guys, for those of you who are up north, friends and family, I'm trying to not rub it in too much. Sorry. Because I know, in my state, there was quite a bit of snow. However, though, that's not going to be the premise of this film. Rather, I've been noticing a lot, on social media in general. A lot of mutual friends have been really talking about various sets of issues, whether it be phosphate mining or air pollution, even water contamination, and even attending meetings, coalitions to really dive into what are some of our next steps, right? But rather, I'm narrowing it down a little bit, which I'll mention in a sec. But I want to go back to a form of videos that I haven't really done in a while. I called it the Table Talks with Mr. Durney on a Journey. So instead of just showing you guys around the ecology, instead I'm focusing more upon one specific topic. So the premise of this video that I really want to talk about is something known as Polyfluoroalkyls. Now I know that sounds a bit of a fancy name. Sounds very chemistry oriented, but we commonly know polyfluoroalkyls as PFAS. Now, it breaks down into two separate compounds, which are, I'm just going to provide the abbreviation. I'm not going to try pronouncing them. It's like they make it complicated on purpose. But anyway, the two forms of PFAS include PFOA and PFOS. So the question that comes to mind is, what does that really entail? Well, for one thing, right off the bat, these compounds that I speak of, they contain high amounts of carbon. I mean, well, a lot. That's majority of it. But the thing is, these chemicals that I speak of, they're actually man-made, as a matter of fact. So, since it's man-made, that means it basically does not occur naturally. So, since it is man-made, there's no capability of that chemical to break down. Unlike, say, for instance, I'm trying to think of an example. It can't break down something like carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide can split into carbon and oxygen because it is a naturally occurring compound. But unlike the PFAS, it doesn't. And the thing is, it's actually very, very microscopic. And it was pretty much started back in the 1940s. It was used in various manufacturing, whether it be, a great example is Teflon, the classic non-stick pans, or, that's the most common example that I can think of. I'll provide a couple of others. I believe it was even used in packaging too, in general, even with styrofoam for another. So pretty much anything that was really manufactured, it pretty much contained some form of PFAS. And some great examples of companies that were using these types of compounds that I speak of is DuPont, or even 3M. You know, we commonly associate 3M as making office supplies. So, since they don't naturally break down, we commonly refer to them as forever chemicals. And it is said, with various forms of research, that exposure to it over time can be linked to different forms of cancer. You know, whether it be breast cancer or prostate cancer, even lung cancer. So it's something that's so microscopic, but yet the impact that it has is quite gargantuan. But pretty much, like, you can find it in, as in this case, you can really find it in water. And that was really the reason why I kind of wanted to show you guys the Gulf, because it's an example of water. But it's not only in the oceans. It can be found in our rivers, our ponds, and even soil too. Pretty much, it has a capability to just cling on to just about anything that has some form of state of matter. And it is said that up to 90% of Americans in the United States, this isn't including the world, has some form of PFAS in their blood. And that's honestly quite daunting to think about. So even me, for instance, I may very well have it in my blood. Or not may. I most likely do. And that's the thing. That's really the next part of my page that I want to start doing, is talking about other various issues going on. And a classic figure that I know of, you guys should really look into him. His name is Robert Bilott. He's actually a lawyer, an environmental lawyer, who was originally from Cincinnati. And he actually went to school at the New College of Florida in Sarasota. And it's just funny because he basically went to the college that I was thinking of actually going to. And we're both from Ohio originally. So there's even a documentary about him. And even with that, there's also a movie called Dark Waters. In case if any of you haven't seen it, would highly recommend, by the way. It's a great film. It has Mark Ruffalo, who portrays Mr. Bilott. But he has done litigations and lawsuits on these big companies such as DuPont for over 20 years. So that's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really into the whole, sitting in the courtroom type of deal and just doing discussion. But I will at least respect them. Or for those, whether it be citizens or even scientists, who really take the time, or even just advocates too, who take the time to sit and listen to discussion and also provide a voice. So, for those of you who do that form of work, you deserve my respect. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here because I'm already hitting 10 minutes. So I will provide just a couple of articles in case if any of you want to read up a bit further on it. It really is an issue that we should be aware of because it's not just affecting someone else, but it very well could be affecting you. And so, since it's pretty much in one of our most valuable resources, water, it is something we should be aware of. Absolutely. So, alright, you guys, take care. Enjoy your Saturday. Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.